Hello and welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. I think the lighting is good enough to give you a view outside my window today. So there we go, some bare trees and a few days after the winter solstice. It's about to get dark, so we may see that happen as I solve this puzzle, particularly if I take a long time. And this has come in from A. Peterson, who is a very inventive constructor and has created an American football puzzle today. So, yeah, I mean, there's no point giving this to Simon. He doesn't know his weak safety from his tight end, and he'd probably just come up with an offensive line about that. Anyway, so I am going to be cracking all the puns today and having a go at this. I spent some of this morning watching the highlights of my team staying alive in the wildcard race yesterday, so it seems a decent time to give this a go. Thank you to A. Peterson for sending it in. Now, I found out who my secret Santa was yesterday, a constructor called Phil V, who has indeed been featured on the channel before. Very good constructor, so unsurprising perhaps that it was such a good Christmas tree puzzle. Do check out my video from yesterday if you haven't seen it already. It was very clever indeed. And yeah, I was very grateful for that. We've of course got the puzzle pyramid still going on. Have I got a picture of that? Probably have. There it is on our Patreon site. That is the December monthly reward. Now we have some idea what the January monthly reward is, and although it's going to take us a bit of work, we will get it to you, and it will be good. No, this wasn't the December monthly reward. That's quite wrong. This was a Christmas bonus, the puzzle pyramid, and we are still getting some answers in. The deadline on this one is quite tight because there's a lot of puzzles. We only released it on the 20th, I think, and we're going to be closing the door to the tomb on the 31st. But we have had several correct entries in, some correcting themselves, and well done to anybody who's got to the end of that. It is a phenomenal construction by Panthera, Aspartagus, and Peter Venus. So do have a go at that. As I say, we're going to have new content on January the 1st. Do stay with us on Patreon or join us if you haven't already. Give yourself a New Year treat and resolve to do more puzzles. That's available there. There's also our apps and etc. etc. Do check it all out on the links under the video. Merchandise too. Anyway, we would be very grateful if you stay with us during January, which is apparently traditionally a very low month for YouTube for some reason. I don't really know why, but anyway. We'll see what happens this year. Do have a go at this puzzle. Now, I'm going to explain the rules, and I'm going to explain them as they were given to us. And in fact, they will appear this way in the description field. But if you click on the link, you will get the basic Sudoku rules. But the grid shows the blocking and pass patterns of and running patterns of an American football play. So we have linemen here protecting a quarterback here. We've got a couple of, we've got maybe 3 wide receivers and a running back, and they are running these patterns. Now, the patterns will only be run correctly if the numbers along the arrows add up to the number in the attached circle. So they can include repeats. They must do, I would think, on this line. And then we have the end zone up here, which is alternating odd and even digits. The grey circles are the odd ones. A. Peterson suggested we could paint this in any colour we liked, but since I can't, it would look a bit odd if I tried to paint that silver and black, so I'll leave that to your own choice of team. Now, the X represents a flag thrown on the previous play, apparently, which was a 10-yard penalty, so those 2 digits add up to 10. Tiny bit contrived. Actually, why would it be in the backfield if it was a 10-yard? Oh, no, it was on the previous play. That's why we're starting from back here. Okay, well, that's possible. Yeah, and that's fair enough. Okay, so anyway, the way we would see this in normal terms is arrow Sudoku, digits on the arrow add up to the number in the attached circle. Grey circles are odd, grey squares are even. Those 2 add up to 10, and no given digits. Apparently we can solve this as it is. Do give it a try. I'm going to start now. Let's kick off. And where do we start? I reckon we start with these long pass patterns because, look, they go into the same box there. So what's the maximum that those two arrows can add up to? That's 18 because there's two separate circles. Now there is a minimum as well, and that is derived from a 1, 2, 3 there. That could be 1, and let's just colour those. 1, 2, 3 there. Now these other ones can be 1 and 2. Oh, that's quite interesting. Actually, they can't all be 1 and 2. That's really weird. If this was a 1, making that a 2, and that a 2, and that a 1. I'm trying to keep them all down to 1 and 2, but then 2 and 1 would both see that cell. And the same if that's a 1, those two would be 2s. And these couldn't both be 1s or 2s at all. So yeah, because that's kind of a 5-cell chain of digits that see each other. 2 of them can be 1, 2 of them can be 2, and one of them would have to be a 3, which is really clever. 3, 6, 9, those 3 are 15. That's another 1 at least. Oh, we didn't get to 18. I thought we might. We got to 16. So those have to be at least 7 and 9. They could both be 8s. So I don't know for sure that one of them's a 9. Oh, that wasn't quite as powerful as I was hoping. Sorry. Is there some other way of going about this? I thought that was really going to matter. These cells. Right, yes, look, these circles are all in the same box. That's interesting. Right, the minimum value of those is 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the same box. Then we've got these 3 cells in the same column. They could be 1, 2, 3. We're up to 21. There we go. And those two will have to be 1 and 2. Right, so I'm putting in the minimum values here are 1, 2. The minimum values here, 1, 2, 3. Now these can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the sum of all of those minima is 24, which is the maximum for 3 separate circles in the same box. So those must be a 7, 8, 9. We can definitely keep these down to the minimum. So those two can't be 1, 2, 3. They must be the 4, 5 pair. We can take 4, 5 out of there. Now we've got a 1, 2, 3 pair in this. Oh no, let's have a look at this other wide receiver pattern and see what we can do with that. Because this now is at least a 3. So 3 plus 1 plus 1 and 2, 7 plus 1 is 8. 8 is now the minimum. So there's 1 degree of freedom, 3 or 8 there, 1 or 2 there. These can be either 1, 2 or 1, 3, and that is either 1 or 2. Now, can we get any further? We've got 1, 2, 3 triples in both those rows. Oh yes, that does work. Yes, there's 1, 2, 3 triples in both those rows. So these cells are going to contain 2 3s. And only one of those 3s can be in box 6. The other one is going to have to be in box 4. So that takes away the degree of freedom. That's a 3, 1 pair. Sorry, I was meant to write 3, 4 there. But I'm taking away the degree of freedom, and that's now a 3. This is now a 1, and this is a 1. Once these become 1 and 3, because of there having to be 2 3s in those rows, and only 1 can be there, that adds up to 4. 3 is the minimum there. 7 plus 1 gives you the maximum here. That's a 9. This isn't a 1 now. Now, yeah, similarly, there have to be 2 2s in use in these two 1, 2, 3 pairs, and only 1 can be here. So that must be a 2. That's not a 2. There's a 2 in one of those cells. Yes, the other way to work that out was going, there's no 2 there. There must be 1 there. Right, that can't be a 1. So that's a 2 3 pair, and that's where 1 is in the column. Oh, the maximum on this arrow is now 7. And we need a 7 at least in this cell. So that must be what it is. Get 7 there. We get a repeating 3. That becomes 1, 3, 1, 2. This is now 7 or 8. Well, it can't be 7, so it's 8. And this is going to have to add up to 9. 4 plus 2 plus 1 is 7, plus a 2 there, which is what it has to be. So there we go. We've done all the receiver and running back routes or routes there. Okay, and we need an odd digit here, and we've used up 1, 3, 5, and 7 in the column. So now we're looking at the end zone and getting a bit of joy from that. Yeah, somewhere we must be able to put a 6 in the end zone, which would feel like a touchdown. That is 6, 7, 8. We've got a 6, 7, 8, 9 combo there. Now what's going on along the line? Okay, I am going to put these pencil marks in, not just because I'm me, but because it's quite interesting. These two have to be the same as these two, so they can't be 4 and 2. So we can remove them. Now this can't be 2. Neither of these cells can be a 1. So this can't be 2. Oh, it could be 4 if they were both 2. 2 must now be in one of these cells. So neither of these can be a 1 or a 2. Aha! So they must be at least 3, 4, which adds up to 7, and this can't be more than 8. So it is 8. We get a 1 there. This must be a 3, 4 pair. There's no 4 here. Now we've got a 2, 5, 6, 7 quad, and this is a 4. We know the quarterback is number 8. Now, it's not really a number. I mean, we've got 2 receivers with number 9 on, so that doesn't make sense. But anyway, yeah, I mean, the way I see this play going, by the way, he's running out to the left to be protected by these blockers who are all heading out that way. I reckon he's probably going to throw it down to this guy. Or maybe it might be an option to run, who knows. Anyway, I don't think that's going to help us solve it. Now, where are we now? These two must be 5, 6, or 7 as well because of the circles. Got a 2 that we've done almost everything on the arrows. Actually, we do know which way round this 3, 4 pair goes. Didn't see that. Fours in one of those, 2s in one of those, and 5 and 6 to go. Maybe we can use the... oh, maybe the flag. It can't be a 1-9 pair. Ah, look, yes, this can't be a 3-7 pair now, because these two have to be odd. And if they couldn't be 1, 3, 7, or 9, they couldn't both be other numbers. So this is an even pair. It's either 2, 8 or 6, 4. We know it's not 8, 2 that way round because of this 2. And look, we can place 3 in column 1. So that's there. That's not a 1. No. So it's 5 or 7. Then these are the other odd numbers. Don't know much about... oh, no, don't know much about the evens yet. What next? 2, 3, 4. That can't be 9. So 9's in one of those 2 cells. 3. There has to be a 3 up here. 2. I don't know. I don't know what I'm looking at next. 1, 9, 3, 4. That can't be 8, so 8's in one of those 2. Oh, 4 in this central box is ruled out of all those cells, so we can just put it in. And then there's a 4 in one of those 2. Let's try that again, because it failed. There we go. Also a 4 in one of those 3. I'm not bothering with that. Okay, I thought... oh, that 4, there we go. That is made up of 2 2s. That, I should have seen that. Right. So now we've got a lot of 2s. So there's going to be a 2 here by virtue of there being 2s in those positions, and that one. Oh, and 1, 1, that must be a 1 now. So that's not a 1. So there's a 1 here by Sudoku. We get a 3 there. That puts a 3 here in box 2. If you look at that and the even cell, you can see that. And that gives us the last 3 in the grid down here. That's where 9 goes in box 8. That can't be a 2. We've placed 2 in box 9. Have we placed all the 2s in the grid? Yes. Well, actually, we get an incredibly helpful one here. And that's the last 2. They're all helpful. The 2 there gives us a 4. Now we know this is a 4-6 pair on the flag, on the X. That is 6 or 8. 6, 2, 1, 9. We've got 5, 7, and 8 to place down the left-hand column. The left-hand sideline, maybe. That's 5, 6, or 7. So one of these is a 4. Oh, these look like they interact in some way. 3, 4, 2, 5, 3, 2, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. This is almost a triple. Okay, there's not much else to see. So many of the clues have been used. I think maybe it's going to be to do with these 2 guards. I mean, obviously, I recognise we haven't quite got enough players to make up the whole blocking scheme here, but we have to imagine the rest of them, I guess. But the ones we have might be quite useful, if I can think of how. That digit must appear somewhere here. Don't quite know what we're doing at the moment. 5, 7, 4, 5. Oh, the only place for a 4 in this column is there. Didn't spot that happening. So 9 is definitely in one of those 2. 9, 2. 4's in one of those 2 cells. So we've got 4's there, there, and somewhere here. It's not actually all that helpful. So we've done 1's, 2's, and 3's everywhere. I think they're all done. We've done 4's to the extent we can. Let's allow for that. Let's just have a look at 5's. I don't know. It doesn't seem to do much. Oh, there's a 5, 6, 7 triple in column 3. So the other 2 are 8 and 9. Right, so now we know where 5 goes in this row. It's here. So that's not a 5. Oh, that's weird, isn't it? Does that 8, 9 triple help with anything else? Yes, it means that that digit is going to have to be the one of 6, 7, or 8, 9 that's here. So it's got to be a 9. And that's not a 9. This is now a 6, 7, 8 triple. That 9 makes this an 8. That makes this a 6. 8 there. That's probably done stuff that I haven't noticed. Look down this column. Here's a nice little thing. I mean, it may not get us very far, but one of those 2 has to be a 6 because it's not up at the top. And that means that because this is the same as that one of these 2 is a 6, and they both see this cell, so that can't be a 6. So now the 6 in row 7 is in one of those 2 cells, and in box 8, that can't be a 6. As I say, that might not do all that much, but it's quite an interesting relationship. Now what? I don't know. Whichever it is, 6 or 7 appears in those cells. 2, 4, 9, 3, 1. That is 6, 7 or 8. 5's in one of those two. Can this be a 5? If that's a 5, we get a 5 here. Oh, hang on. These are from 5, 7 and 9 in this box, and that's a triple. So the other two in the column are 6 or 8. Oh, that didn't do anything. That looked really helpful, and it really wasn't. 6 or 7 there. One of these is an 8. That's a 6, 7 pair. That is helpful. Yes, 9 can't be in either of those cells because of that 9 and this circle. Right, so 9 in column 5 is there. That's not a 9. This is. That's good. 4, no. 2, oh, this has become the 4, 6 has been resolved. Sorry, I didn't spot that. We've got a 5, 7 pair. It always seems to be the same blinking numbers. Now that's a 5, 6, 7 triple. So the others are 4 and 8. I could have done that from the 5, 7 pair there. So it's probably not all that helpful. Now what was I thinking about? This being a 5. Ah, well that's got more... Look, this doesn't work now. If that's a 5, then the 5 in box 1 has to be here. And now there's nowhere for a 5 in box 2. That's a really clever sort of arrow Sudoku Y-wing thing. So those aren't 5s, and now that's a 6, 7 pair on the line, on the offensive line. So we get a 5 there. The O-line. In fact, this box is suddenly finished. 7, that's a 5 as well. 6, rows 8 and 9 are finished. 5 in the corner gives us 7 up there. I didn't spot the 3 in the corner losing its religion over there, but never too late. 7, 5. We must be able to do these others. 6 on the arrow. So the other arrow is 6, and now these arrows have borne full fruit, and I think we're finishing off now. 9 and an 8 here. Yep, they go in just like that. That's not an 8. Oh, and this isn't a 6. So this top row of evens has been done. In fact, the odd has been done ages ago. 5, 7. That's become a 5. That is a 7. This 7, 6 pair is done. Sorry, I went to the wrong cell and hit 6. That's my new keyboard. We've got a 4 and a 5 here. I thought I had turned the option to tell me when I make mistakes like that off, but it keeps coming back. 5 and a 4 there, and that does it. So there we go. We qualify for the wild cards, and we scored a 6 there in the end zone, or maybe it got intercepted and run back for a 6, a pick 6 the other way. I don't know. We can't really tell what happened in the pattern, but we can tell that the quarterback ran out there and did something. Anyway, that is our Sudoku Bowl Sudoku from A. Peterson. Very clever idea. Hope you had a go at that. That was fun. And thank you very much for watching. We wish you, of course, a happy forthcoming new year. And we'll see you again tomorrow for more Sudoku. As it is, bye for now.